The modal verb, would, has several uses in English, encompassing a range of functions, from expressing the future in the past, to polite requests, hypothetical situations, and more. Here is a detailed explanation of its various usages. Future in the past. Would is often used to express an action that was in the future, relative to a past moment. She knew that by the end of the year, she would have saved enough money for her dream vacation. He promised that he would call me once he arrived at his destination. They expected that the construction project would be completed within 6 months. The teacher assured the students that their exams would be graded by the following week. We believed that the weather would improve by the time we reached the beach. She predicted that her novel would become a bestseller after its release. He was confident that the new policy would bring positive changes to the company. They anticipated that the product launch would be a huge success. The coach told the team that they would win the championship if they kept practicing hard. She hoped that her application would be approved by the end of the month. Hypothetical or imaginary situations. Would is used to talk about hypothetical or imaginary situations, often with if clauses. If I won the lottery, I would travel around the world. She would bake a cake if she had all the ingredients. If I were the president, I would focus on education reform. He would call you if he had your phone number. If we had more time, we would visit the museum. They would join us for dinner if they weren't busy tonight. If I were you, I would take that job offer. She would move to a bigger apartment if she earned more money. If it weren't raining, we would go for a hike. He would help you with your project if you asked him. Polite requests and offers. Would is used to make polite requests or offers. Would you mind passing the salt, please? Would you like a cup of tea? Would it be possible for you to help me with this project? Would you prefer to sit by the window or the aisle? Would you be able to attend the meeting tomorrow? Would you care for some dessert? Would you like me to call you a cab? Would it trouble you to review this document? Would you please close the door on your way out? Would you be interested in joining us for dinner? Past habitual actions. Would can describe repeated actions or habits in the past, similar to used to. Every summer, we would visit my grandparents' farm in the countryside. As a child, she would spend hours reading books in her room. We would often go for long walks along the beach, when we lived by the coast. My father would tell us bedtime stories every night before we went to sleep. In the evenings, my grandmother would sit by the fireplace and knit. When I was younger, I would play soccer with my friends after school. During our vacations, we would camp in the mountains and enjoy the fresh air. Every weekend, my family would gather for a big Sunday dinner. We would always celebrate my birthday with a picnic in the park. My mother would bake delicious cookies whenever we had guests over. Preferences. Would can express a preference, often in conditional sentences. I would rather stay home tonight than go to the party. She would prefer tea over coffee any day. We would like to eat at that new Italian restaurant. They would rather watch a movie than play video games. I would choose a beach vacation over a mountain trip. He would prefer to read a book instead of watching TV. We would like to take the scenic route, even if it takes longer. She would rather listen to classical music than pop. I would choose an afternoon nap over a late night out. They would like to spend the weekend camping, rather than staying in a hotel. Conditional sentences. In conditional sentences, would is used in the main clause to express what would happen if a certain condition were met. If I had known about the party, I would have attended. She would travel more if she had enough money. If he studied harder, he would pass the exam. They would buy a new house if they found a good deal. If it weren't raining, we would go for a walk. You would feel better if you took your medicine. If I were you, I would apologize to her. If we left earlier, we would avoid the traffic. She would be happier if she pursued her passion. If they offered me the job, I would accept it. Softening statements. Would can soften statements or express uncertainty, making the statement less direct. I would appreciate it if you could help me with this project. She would like you to consider her proposal before making a decision. They would prefer to meet in the afternoon, if that's convenient for you. He would be grateful if you could spare a few minutes to discuss the issue. We would kindly ask that you refrain from smoking in this area. If you would be so kind, please pass me the salt. She would be thrilled if you could attend her graduation ceremony next week. They would rather not go out tonight and would instead prefer a quiet evening at home. He would appreciate your understanding in this matter. If you would excuse me, I need to take this call. reported speech. Would is used in reported speech to relay what someone said in the past. She said she would call me later. He mentioned that he would be attending the conference next month. They promised they would finish the project by Friday. The teacher told us we would have a quiz on Monday. Jane asked if I would help her with her homework. He wondered if they would accept his proposal. Sarah said she would buy groceries on her way home. They explained that they would arrive at the party around 8 p.m. The manager assured us that the issue would be resolved soon. Tom asked if I would like to join him for lunch tomorrow. Expectations and assumptions. Would can express expectations or assumptions about a situation. She would always arrive early to meetings, so I expect she'll be here any minute. If it were warmer outside, they would likely go for a swim in the lake. He would often skip breakfast, so I assume he hasn't eaten yet. If they had more time, they would probably finish the project ahead of schedule. Sarah would typically call me back within an hour, so I anticipate hearing from her soon. If I were in his shoes, I would probably feel the same way about the decision. They would usually take the train to work, so they might be delayed by the current traffic. If it were a weekend, she would normally sleep in until noon. He would often lend a hand when needed, so I'm counting on his help with the setup. If they were here, they would surely enjoy the party atmosphere. Expressing willingness. Would can indicate willingness or a strong desire in a polite way. I would help you move next weekend if you need assistance. She said she would bake cookies for the charity event. If you asked nicely, he would probably lend you his car for the weekend. We would love to join you for dinner tonight, if you're still free. He promised he would study harder next semester to improve his grades. If they offered me the job, I would definitely consider relocating. She would always volunteer at the animal shelter on weekends. If it were possible, I would visit every museum in the city during my vacation. They said they would contribute to the school fundraiser this year. If I had more time, I would learn to play the guitar.